Well, hello everyone. I'm back from my summer break. I usually have a break in the summer just because I'm really busy, so I just don't get time. Lots of photography this summer. It's been great, and I've had a really good summer. The weather's been diabolical right enough, but a few fun things as well, a few festivals and things like that. So anyway, I'm back now. So we're coming up to autumn now. Definitely, it's the autumn equinox today actually, and the Glen has gone really brown and started to give you these beautiful colours. Now, the plan was this morning to do a quick shoot, drive-by shoot of all the different locations that are really easy to access through the Glen. But I've got up this morning and the forecast did say there might be a little bit of high mist around, but it's really not high at all. And as you can see, it's all around me, so everything is really misty. So it's scuppered my sunrise plans a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that vlog and leave it another time. And instead, I'm going to sort of change my plan a little bit. And we're going to go and try and shoot some locations where there's some low mist, really helps the shot. The good thing with mist is it kind of clears the shot a little bit, simplifies it. And so I'm going to find some locations that I wouldn't normally use just because they're a bit cluttered. But by having that mist behind, it kind of simplifies the image a little bit. So come and join me as I show you some of my top locations for shooting in the mist in Glencoe and Glen Etive. So what I've done is I've changed my plans and I've come on down Glen Etive here, and I've driven past the Skyfall shot and then carried on, and there's a new bridge that takes you over the burn here, over the River Etive actually, and there's a nice waterfall, and I thought I do shoot this waterfall quite a lot, but I've never really got a really good decent shot of it, I never feel. So I thought I'd give it a go, seeing the mist, and the mountains behind, you can kind of see them poking out a little bit, and I thought this would give it a nice sort of eerie sort of feeling to this location. So I think this is probably a good example of whereby normally if the clouds aren't here and you see all the mountains behind, it's very confused, a very complicated shot. So by having that mist in that sky and just giving a hint of the mountains behind, I've simplified the shot a little bit. So this is one which might actually work a little bit better in the mist. So I'm going to get on down here. Let's get on down a bit lower, see if we get a nice location a bit further down. Yeah, okay, I've got myself a bit lower to the waterfall. There's kind of a little platform here which you kind of get on. You can use that as a bit of foreground interest if you want, just to give you a bit of depth to this shot. I don't know whether I will. I'll probably just leave it blank actually and just use the waterfall. And I can see the hint of these mountains in the background. This really does simplify the shot, and I think this is going to work actually, just because I can see there's a lot of stuff going in that foreground, and it really does need a bit more clarity to the shot. So that mist is really going to help me this morning. So I'm going to set up here. I'm probably going to bang on a polarizer as well, just to lose a bit of glare on that water. But I think this is a really nice composition. Cool, let's get that tripod out and let's get set up. Okay, I've got a really nice composition here. I think it works really well. Now, normally I'll shoot the waterfall right in the middle of the shot, but actually I'm liking that depth of the water. And normally I don't shoot down here, but again, because of this low mist, it's cleared the shot a little bit, so it's not made it too cluttered. So I quite like that depth of the River Etive going down under the bridge there, which is quite nice. Of course, this time of the day, there's nobody on the bridge as well, so it works really well. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to pop on a polarizer here, and I'm going to slow this down, so I'm going to pop on a 6-stopper. So while I'm here, I just want to have a chit chat about some kit. And that's because over the summer, I've had a lot of sort of people, maybe from North America actually, who've come over and they seem to be carrying so much stuff. I'm amazed at all the kit they've got, and they spend so much time divvying around in their bag and forget to look at the landscape here. So I really want to talk to you about the kit. I carry nothing. I carry hardly anything. I've got my camera, I've got my 14 to 30 lens, I've got a 24 to 70 in the bag, and I've got this little pack of magnetic filters that just clip on and that is it. That's all I carry. Even the filters, and people are sort of faffing around with different carriages, and then all the little filters are in different cases and different boxes, and oh my goodness. So honestly, my bag is empty. If I'm only doing landscape, now if you're coming down here and you're shooting wildlife and all that, you're going to need different kit. But if you're just shooting landscapes, you need a wide-ish angle lens, one camera, and a couple of magnetic filters. And actually the filters, you do only need a polarizer and an ND filter, 6 stop and a 10 stop, really useful. And that's all you need. You don't need all this nonsense. You don't need self clickers and all that. Just put it on the self timer, wireless stuff, and oh my goodness, the faffing we've had this summer. So keep it really simple, and that really makes your photography a lot easier, because you don't get overwhelmed with all this kit and what I'm doing. You just start keeping it simple and stripping it back to what it should be, which is just enjoying the environment and making a connection with those shots that you're actually focusing on. Now it's a bit midgy this morning. This is late September, and I thought most of the midges had gone because we had quite a cold spell last week, but this is midge-tastic right now. And you can't beat a bit of smidge in your eye just to keep you sort of focused, can you? So I've got that much smidge in my eye now, I've got my glasses on, so hopefully these shots will be in focus, and I'm going to trust the camera's focus because I can't see a pigging thing right now. Okay, let's go and set that shot up. Okay, I'm going to talk you through the shot here, so we're going to move around, and what I've got the waterfall here, obviously coming in. Probably going to polarize this, and I'm going to really slow it down. So I'm going to put a 10 stop filter on that just to really slow it down, even though it's quite dark. And then you'll see the camera, and I'm kind of set up that kind of way. So that gives me that depth to this, and I've got this River Etive disappearing off into the distance. I've got the new bridge just sitting over across there, which is not too bad as well, gives some interest in the back. And like I say, usually this mountain's out, and there's lots of stuff going on here. By keeping that mist, it's kind of simplified this top area of the photograph, and therefore it gives you that lead of the eye going all the way down, keeping it nice and simple. I've got some trees on the right hand side. This big one here I'm probably going to crop out, so I'm going to try and get it down to about there. So I've just got that one tree in there on its own, just to keep it nice and simple. Okay, I think that's really nice. It's a really nice shot. So if this image works, here's the image. Yes, I've just driven down to the main car park in Glencoe. I'm coming down and the Three Sisters are looking fantastic. The clouds just lifting enough, so they're just poking out and giving that really moody sort of feel to them. So I thought this would be a great spot. I don't usually come here because it's usually quite busy, but it's still quite early in the morning, so there's plenty of parking places. But what I've got is I've got a little orange tent in the bottom there in the foreground, just between Garbannock and the Anachdu here, and it's just looking really good. It's giving me some like perspective to the height of Garbannock, so yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to have a shoot of this one. I think this is going to work for me. Yeah, I'm glad I stopped here. The clouds just lifting just right, so yeah, it's looking pretty good. The glen itself's looking really nice at the moment, and it's really early as well, so what's happened is the bracken's going brown. You can see there's a lot of brown bracken here. I don't quite understand why, because this year's been really wet, so I thought the bracken had held on. Last year we were still quite vivid green this time of year, so it's funny how it changes from season to season, but it's been an exceptionally dry and then really wet season pretty much most of the summer for kids off school, I'm afraid. And then we've had a dry spell the last couple of weeks or so. It's been quite dry. But the vegetation is really gone, and now you can start seeing those beautiful textures in the glen. The problem is with summer is it's all vivid green, and it's a sort of similar green as well, so you lose all them textures and colours. So this is the time of year I start getting really excited. Yeah, so it's a nice simple composition really. It's quite minimalist again. Again, with all that cloud coming down, it works really well. And it's just a handheld shot actually. I didn't even bother doing anything else because it's just a single shot. There's no real movement or motion in the sky or anything, so there's no point putting big filters on. The clouds are here, so there's no point putting the polarizer on. So it really is a really simple shot. So what I've done is I've flipped you around, and I've got so you can hear the guys over there. They're having a right old party, and they've got a big orange tent. In fact, they're all out the tent, which is a shame because I quite like it without those in it, to be honest. But I'll see what the shot looks like. I could always clone them out. But you've got the tent over there, and that's just, I've kind of just cut it out, and then I've just got Garbannock here and that beautiful cloud, and it's kind of coming over the top, and lovely wispy, and then just that valley there, which is Stobcorrin and Lochen, and again it's got a little cap on it, and it's just moving over the top. So it's a really simple shot, it really is. Nothing too complicated. Okay, I think I quite like this. Whether I go black and white, I don't think I will. I think I'll keep it in colour because the textures are really nice at the moment, so I think I'm going to keep it in colour. Cool, if this shot works, here's the image. Okay, so what I've done is I've driven down to the bottom of the glen here, and the clouds are still sort of quite low. It's lifted a little bit, but it's still quite low. But what I've done is there's no wind at all. It's really flat, calm. So I've decided to come to this little loch here called Loch Turan. So to get here, come down to the end of the glen, turn right at Loch Actriocton as if you're heading towards the Clach Inn. drive along that single track, you'll get past the Clackegg, and then you'll keep coming and you'll see like some sort of stone fence, stone wall, and it'll say Signal Rock. Just after that, you can actually pull and get your car out the way. It is private land, this is, so you're not really supposed to be around here going up to the cottages and stuff like that. You're okay at the lock, but don't drive your car in here or anything like that. So you can get yourself out of the way there, and then you can walk on down to this beautiful little lock here, right at the bottom of the glen. And when it's flat, calm like this, you get a fantastic reflection, and with that moody sky as well, it's going to work really well. Good. Okay, what I'm going to do is find a little location here that's going to work for me. It's pretty almost a given. So let's get set up and let's see if I can find something. Okay, so let me talk you through this composition. It actually is really very simple. I've got a lovely balance shot. So this is like the classic sort of balance. I've got everything symmetrical, the horizon's right in the middle. And what I've got is, I started off a little bit to the left here, and these trees on the left-hand side become a little bit heavy in the shot. So what I've done is I turned my camera around a little bit, and then I've got these trees on the right hand side, and they kind of balance it out a little bit. So when you're doing really balanced shot, just look at the weight of the image. Sometimes it tips to the left or to the right, and that's really sort of prominent when you're doing reflection shots like this. If you get like a big heavy tree on the left hand side, you haven't got nothing to compensate it on the right, it kind of tips forward a little bit, or tips to the left or to the right, and it looks a bit dodgy. So yeah, I quickly realised that I'm going to have to spin myself around a bit, and then I'm going to use these trees, these conifers on the right hand side, just to balance the birch trees on the left. Yeah, so what I've done is there's a little bit of ripples, not much wind about. I know that because the piggy midges are here. It's end of September and these midges should be gone now, and I'm kind of sick of the taste of smidge this year, and of course it gets all over your lenses as well, which is a bit of a pain. But what I've done is, because of there's fine little ripples in there, so once again, as always, pop on a big filter here, and that sort of slows it down a little bit, and then it averages out those ripples and gets for a really good shot. Cool. Well, if you like this image, here's the image. That was all right, weren't it? Not too bad at all. I'm really liking it. I think I probably could do with a bit more variety in the trees, if I'm being honest with you. It's a bit of a uniform green all over, and maybe I'm a couple of weeks too early. It's quite interesting because the top end of the Glen Etive this morning, a lot of the trees are really going that golden brown colour, and obviously all the bracken's gone golden brown. But I'm looking here, and all this bracken here is still green, and this is quite a uniform green yet. So obviously lower down in the Glen, it's not quite turned yet. So maybe come back in a couple of weeks. So I probably will do that. So see me maybe in the next vlog. There's some different colours coming into these trees and that, which will make a bit more variety and a bit more textures. Cool. Well, I had a great morning this morning. Weren't quite what I planned to do, but you just got to run with it sometimes. And I think I've done all right. I'm quite pleased with those 3 images. So yeah, really worth getting out, even when it's really low cloud and misty. Cool. Well, as always, if you like what you saw, do me a favour, give me that thumbs up. It does make a big difference to my channel. If you're really liking it, get on that old subscribe, and you can get the notifications every time I post. I'm not doing it for too seriously, so like I say, I've had about a 2 or 3 month off just over the summer here. I'm going to try and start posting again every 3 weeks or so, something like that. It just depends how busy I am. I've got a lot of tours coming up. Autumn is my busy time for photography, so but I'll keep trying to post as much as I can. Cool. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next vlog.